Hello and welcome. I have quite a few bits and pieces that I want to come on and speak to you about. So I've just leapt on here to have this little energy update about what's going on energetically. So you may be feeling quite slammed, really. These energies are coming in with huge intensity and rather incredible speed as well. So you are probably feeling them. They can be feeling like they're really kind of um, pushing you down into the ground. They have a lot of pressure like that. And so we're kind of like in the open arms of Venus. That's how I've seen it. This giant wash of light that's coming in from the planet Venus, which is playing and has been playing a prominent role in our sky at the moment. And so this is having the effect of really opening our world to love. So these giant washes of light coming down from that planet, opening up the higher heart and expanding the heart vortex and bringing us into truth. So this light is, in a way, not just enabling us, but kind of forcing us to come into our own authenticity, into our own center, and into our own truth. So, speaking our own truth, revealing our own truth, recognizing our own truth, and speaking it out loud to ourselves. We are in this process in this micro world of our own hearts as well as in the greater world. So we are going to see a lot of this showing up in our world where people are going to be beginning to speak their truth, but it will come in a way that has greater softness. So even people who perhaps might speak their truth in a way that's very brusque and very confrontational, like an energetic sponge being thrown at you, they will speak their truth now from their heart. So it will come with this softness, with this openness. And then there's this opportunity really for this greater recognition of how you are feeling. And this is everybody, not just you, but how everybody in the world is feeling, and this whole sensory experience of feeling, the emotional experience of feeling, and this beautiful, gorgeous, washing love light. So this is this giant wash of love over the planet, and it's removing the veils and the shrouds and anything that is stopping us from revealing ourself to ourself and the world being revealed to us. And so it's helping everybody rest more deeply in their own hearts, recognizing their own authentic love of self. Feel that. Feel into dropping into your own heart and feeling the expansiveness of love that sits there. This love of self, this love for self. Just close your eyes and feel that in your heart for a moment. And then as you do that, imagine that on the out breath, it's expanding, it's growing. This beautiful, I want to say pink cloud. So I have to tell you that there was a time when I did my little and visited the planet Venus. There's a lot of information about the planet Venus, and none of it was what I experienced. So it shows up even telescopically, apparently. It shows up as this, I think, a blue planet. But there's also talk about that there's no life on Venus and that it's this toxic, surrounded by this toxic gas. So, yeah, just before we go on, I'll tell you about my weird experience, if you like. Well, I seem to have a lot of them. But when I visited Venus, it was like this. It was like I had to swim through all of this pink gas. And I thought, wow, I wonder if I'm ever going to get to a planet. And it just took a long, long time of moving through this pink, like a soft pink cloud, no visibility. But then all of a sudden I came into, something that was more like a hard surface. So for me, it was all of that pink. And oh yes, Lauren, good morning, Lauren. She's saying she's a Libra ruled by Venus. Same here. In fact, I was saying out loud to myself, there's a lot of Venus in my astrology. Having intense heart chakra expansions the first few days. Thank you. Yes, I know. It's really wonderful and it's really exciting, because to me it's like being on the edges of the world, leaping off into love. And that's what we are doing individually and what we're doing as humanity and as the planet. And it's going to, make the difference. So everybody recognizing their own hearts, recognizing their own authentic love of self and others, whilst truth and rightness and righteousness becomes apparent. So imagine that. Imagine in our world when each of us can speak from our beautiful hearts with love, with the energy of love, whatever it is that we're saying, in truth, in our authentic truth, and that we're able to deliver that from here. So it lands and it leaves with softness, and then it can be received. And there's this whole exchange that sits on love and comes from love and is received with love. And it's holding within or sitting within the bounds of truth and authenticity. And so this is this place that I've spoken about before, that we will get to, where we will only speak truth and we will only recognize truth, and we will recognize that energetically. And more people are going to be able to do this now. And this is what came through with that information. This duplicit world in many ways is mirroring itself, so that all aspects can begin to be seen. So truth and love will rule the day. And firstly, love of self, this deep falling in love with you, in love with self, and the beauty of one's own heart. So that's a little journey for you to dive into, that diving into your own heart and recognizing your own beauty and their own love. And then seeing with the eyes of love. The veils and the shrouds and the mists are moving. So we have really been surrounded with those kind of energies, if you like, the things that stop us from really seeing the truth and seeing who we are, and they're moving out. And this is enabling great clarity in our world, this truth, this authenticity, to be seen and felt, and then desired, or maybe in a different order to that, but all of those aspects. So the world was kind of showing up as well. It's a very hard thing to even describe, but if you can imagine this reflective lake reflecting the sky, and this lake was very mirror-like, and that's this horizontal plane, and that's how Gaia was explaining to me this process that we're going through is this kind of ultimate reflection of self and ultimate reflection of the world. So we can see it clearly. It's being revealed, what our world has been and what our world is going to become. So this, this reveal of what's gone on, but it will only come into the extent that one can receive it, because it's going to be massive. So we're moving into this time where all will be seen with great clarity, like watching a clear sky being reflected in a still lake. And not all will be seen, but what is seen and what each may see may have an individual focus, will be seen with great clarity. So enough needs to be seen now to enable change, and this will be warranted by people viewing what is necessary to and what they are ready to see. And then on top of that, there's this beautiful thing happening to the men in our world. So the men in our world are stepping up, their burdens released, their shackles removed, their hearts and eyes wide open, and they are in beginning recognition of what needs to be done. So this is this time for everyone to make conscious decisions and movements, to make conscious thoughts, words, and actions in light of what it is that you may wish to see and be in the world, and what you would want to have occur in your life and in those of the people around you. But this mirror thing is interesting. So we've got this sort of dual reflection. It's this idea that we're going to see in reflection. So you could see that as in retrospective as well as in the actual mirroring. All that's been going on in our world that has been hidden, shrouded, and veiled, that we're in this time where that is really going to be illumined, showing up, shown to us, so we can look at it and we can make conscious choices about, well, no, we are not having that. We are going to choose it, reframe it, refocus it, review it, rebuild it, recreate it to be operating in a way that serves humanity, that sits with the heart, that is, sitting within the framework and the bounds of love. So this is the energy that we're experiencing at the moment. It's very soft and beautiful while being hard, intense, and piercing. You may find that you are in great pain as it's moving into your body. The way to manage it is to be in ease, to find ease, to get in water, to speak to your body, to try to not get into resistance. As soon as you get into resistance, you'll get into pain with it. So just be in flow, feel yourself as though you're in a river or in water, or get yourself in water, or get your feet in water, or get into the shower, all of those things. It's about just allowing it to move through and ground it out. It's coming in, it's very intense, it's shifting through the body, it's all for good. So be in that mode with it. Be in that, I know this is for my God, and come on, body, we can just receive this. Let's just open up and soften up to receiving this into ourselves. Allow the light in, allow what needs to be moved out to move out, and imagine it coming down and through your feet and into the earth with this energy. Right, let me see if there's anything to answer in here. I want to do a video about Mount Shasta, and I kind of wanted to do that as a separate video. And I also I might just add in here about the divine masculine, actually, but let's see in here first. Lauren, feeling better, sleep at last. Yeah, it's been exhausting. Yeah, these energies are exhausting. So our cells are going through so much cellular change, and as they are combusting through the energy coming in and expelling the old density so it can hold more light, it uses a lot of energy. Good afternoon, Carolyn. Definitely seeing a deeper truth that's so clearly coming through, and my twin is seeing it too. Fantastic. Hi Sharon, I'm awake. It's 4:30 a.m. Great to catch up live. Hi Helly Star. Oh yeah, sleep. Sleep is hard to come by in the night, and I really. Oh, I must actually see what I can find out about that, or maybe you can help me with that. But I don't know why it's often easier to catch a bit of sleep on the couch during the day. I have that experience anyway, and in the night it's like as a right from when I was 12, I became aware that when there was a big moon that I would be awake all night. But now I still am affected by it, not just by the moon, but by the energies. Something big is releasing from my heart as I talk, or as I talk, something's being released from Karen's heart. Fantastic. No, we can all help one another by that in our energetic presence. Jamie is exhausted. That's what I was like yesterday. Jamie, what did I do yesterday? Yesterday was Monday. I had no clients yesterday, and I did some writing, and I did some gardening, and I did some cleaning, but basically I just flopped from one place to the other, and at one point I lay down on the couch, and when I woke up, I swear my body felt as though someone had been hitting it with one of those rubber hammers. It just felt just not quite bruised, but it felt like it was not sore, not bruised, but it's hard to describe. But I felt like it had been, given a good pummeling in the energies that had just, knocked me out. And I think I slept for 3 hours, and I woke up feeling hot and heavy in my body. And that's all we can do is just manage our sleep as best we can, and often that will come in sort of snatches of the day. All right, so I can see who's here, so I might just throw in here about the divine masculine. Let me find it. Let me see if I can see the imagery that I got given. Oh yeah, it's so interesting. So this is something I got separately, but then I just there's a little matchup. So the divine masculine, so they are in this place where they are, I want to say most of them, not all of them, but there's a big majority of them who are really at peace. They have come into this place of deep peace in their hearts. It comes from this idea that they know. So they know who they are. They are gathering an idea of why they are here. They have this idea of who you are, who their divine feminine is, and they are at peace with it. They are not in a hurry with it. They are in the knowing that it is part of their pathway, part of their trajectory, and they are looking at this from this very collectively, this very masculine point of view of, well, this is what I need to do in order to get there. But it's a very sequential set of operations. It's a very physical, do the tasks thing. But this truth, this authenticity, this opening of the hearts is really affecting them. So they are being led through this time, the divine masculines, as though they are coming out of a mist and seeing with great clarity who they are, why they are here, and beginning this recognition of this greater role that they are here for, and for their purpose in the world. And that it links also into their divine feminine. They are in this really great space in general. where they can see it all very clearly, what they need to do, and they are doing it, I want to say, with incredible competency. So I am showing, yeah, I was showing each of them. So you can imagine your divine masculine on the stage. It seems a bit, it's a funny metaphor, but anyway, they are on the stage. They are just one divine masculine. The curtains are closed. The curtains, if this is meaningful to you, are this mid blue velveteen curtains, and it's a giant theatre. It's not a theatre I've been to, but this is what I was showing. And the divine masculines, like one at a time, they are, or the one representing the divine masculine, is out in front of the curtains in this deep, deep bow to the audience. It's like after the show, and they are very pleased with themselves. So that's the kind of metaphor. Yeah, and they are bowing deeply to this huge audience. So they are, yeah, very kind of invested in the process. And yeah, you can see them as, moving into this, because like I always, my perception of it is always the divine masculine lead the collective. So, they're doing all of this, releasing the shrouds, the mists, the things that they've had that have veiled over them seeing truth. It's this 3 and 5 dimensional game or play of moving back and forth from fifth dimensional experiences, perceptions, to third dimensional. And now though, what is happening is, because their hearts are open and their higher hearts are functioning and having an impact, they now cannot not see it. I know that's a double negative, but it's perfect. They cannot not see it. So they are seeing it clearly, and it comes with the feeling. So they are feeling, or beginning to feel, this higher love, this higher level of love, and recognizing that nothing else will match that. And so they're kind of, they're gathering themselves up to come into that positioning. And really, any of them who are not, it's my understanding that they are being pushed along by the divine. So we are in the last week of October. I am very clearly showing, and have been for a while, that the last 2 weeks of October are going to be massive. I'm surprised that we haven't seen more, but we've still got a week to go. So I believe we're going to see this collapse through the economics and through government positions and governments in general, as it becomes obvious that we need to find other ways of managing ourselves. And as we come into this higher love and authenticity and truth, all of that will line up with our always looking for the highest good for others, not trying to wrestle other people out of a deal or to get one over people. All of that will move out of our world and out of our lives. And so I believe, we are yet to see this, and that we're on this, this opening, this unveiling, this love washing over everybody, transforming and transmuting the way in which we operate and are and communicate with one another, and the way that we interact with nature as well. And that we're in the, I don't know, I want to say the cusp of the movement. And we will, see this. I don't know how exactly it's going to show up, but I am pretty sure that it's going to show up over the next couple of weeks. And those are the three, the three aspects that, so Gaia is always clustered things. So government, health, and economics. Those are the three that will be showing up first. And so you think of those broadly and how they interrelate with one another, and what we've gone through in the last few years with the whole thing around the COVID and shutdowns and vaccines and pharmaceutical companies, and all of that fits in the way in which money's passed hands for various things. All of that is going to be revealed, and then we will pick ourselves up and look at new ways of measuring those things and examining those aspects of our lives and how we can work and function in ways that serve everybody better as we tumble into the unfolding and the undoing and the looking at how education doesn't serve or how it needs to serve differently, and how our whole manufacturing industry needs to do the same, and then the legal kind of aspects of all of that, and then energy. So those four, and then the others will come. So we will. Well, we are. I say this with great confidence. I really do. But we are moving into, or back to, this time where we will have our provisions gifted, granted, as of right of being a human here on the planet. So, we are going to have new ways of dealing with energy. We will have new ways of working. We will work less. We will have things provided. We will be more pristine in what we do and put into our bodies. And we will, clean up water, clean up air, clean up food manufacturing. The toxins, the poisons in our bodies are being cleared out now, and we'll get more and more pristine and pure with that. The way in which we do business will become very clean and aligned. Everything is going to be impacted by this truth and authenticity. So you imagine that everyone is doing their dealings, their business above board with total openness and from the heart. And there's going to be a big shift that comes economically because of that. We will know that we need less. I believe there's a system already set up. It's like a lever will be pulled, that will be washed away, and then this will be served up to us. And I just think we're going to see a lot of it like that. We're also in this acceleration, so you can be kind of assured that whatever is going to happen now is, like as God said, the last part of tumbling down the hill. And that's the same with, if you are on this divine counterpart journey, those things are going to come together very, very quickly as well, because there's this interaction, this interconnectedness between the energy that's created by those twin connections coming together, rippling out over the world, creating another wave of love. So all of this now is all going to start to kind of feed into one another, and there could be some rough moments. There could be some chaotic things to observe. People who are not yet in their higher understanding, who are not yet aligned with higher truth, they may see their material world falling apart, and their response to that may be fear, maybe anger, maybe reaction. And we just have to be mindful and aware that we're moving through this over this next little while. And you can share what you know and believe, but don't feel that you have to go out there and be proselytizing about it, because people will open to it, receive it, accept it when they are ready, and some won't be ready. But we really are in this very exciting time where we can feel this beautiful energy of love, and we can feel how it is washing over us and changing us and making us feel kind of more still, more present, and that will have this beautiful impact on those around us. Let me see. My vision's doing quite well today. I've got my glasses here, but I can read most of this. No, I'll have to put this on now. These on. Hold on. Amanda, this may not be related, but wondering if ascension will help with feminine energies, female cycles, hormonal changes, something having extra difficulties with lately. Oh, well, I think that links in with all of our bodily functions. They're all being changed up, changed over. Also, we're having, it's like the removal of interference on those cycles and on our systems. So as those interferences are removed, we'll come back into different cycles or new cycles or older cycles. Oh, there's just been a new UK PM assigned. I know that was short and swift and interesting, wasn't it? Provisions being provided to cease the division of class was what I was. Oh yes, we will. It will all be very sort of egalitarian. This whole division. So all of the divisions in our world have been designed to do that, to create separation. So every single aspect of that, and yeah, the class structure, I guess, is a classic example of that. Amazing, and so it should be. Yes. Thank you, Lauren. Carolyn, I agree, and I've built all this in the higher realms in the system. We are gifted with what we need when we are born. Yes, the system has been set up. Exactly. So that's what we're returning to. You could call it our God-given rights. You could call it our sovereign rights. Wave of love. Ah, you had a twin flame marriage. How beautiful. Christ consciousness. Yeah, so this wave is really the edges of that, or more fullness of that, where this energy, this Christed, this Christos light, this Christos energy, this coming into crystalline liquid light is all about Christ consciousness, or the Christed light, the Christed flow of consciousness. And yeah, it's beautiful, it's magical, it's massive, it's expansive. And so all of us are being exposed to that and having that greater expansiveness in our hearts, as is everyone. New UK PM is the first of Asian descent, which is amazing and makes sensory higher love and no more divide globally. Yeah, I believe that our government structures as they are built on faulty premise, and that I'm showing that we will have level, flat structures and systems for government, but it'll be more like councils of advisors, and this, finding consensus, finding the middle ground. Early menopause, and feel my hormones have been calmed down at this time. I think a lot of our cycles have been affected through what's been happening in our world, and that will come back into balance and equilibrium with those. And I don't believe that it will take too long for that. Yeah, that's right, Andrea. Yay, Sophia. Yeah, this whole the beauty of this energy is going to be felt. It just is, and it's just going to have its effect. Being me. Oh, yes, you are watching me live, Ciela. Beautiful. Thank you. Lovely that you are here. Ascension and menopause, similar symptoms. Yes, they could well be. So our bodies are really incredible, pieces of technology, if you like. And so we've been having huge well, the other way that Gaia showed it, which is interesting to me, is like the upper chakras and the lower chakras coming into mirror as well. So that balancing up that way. But we are, through this heart expansion, we will really learn, and many of you who are here, we do this anyway, but the rest of the world is going to come into this. We'll be navigating our lives through our hearts. We're using our soul or our higher hearts or our divine flame as a GPS. We allow that to rule the waves, to underpin the decisions, to navigate the stories, because we learn to drop out of our heads and not be in the mind, and to allow the mind to work as a processor, as a tool, but for the heart to make the decisions, so that it's all based on what's good for humanity. And when we are all doing that, imagine the difference. So one of the things that moves me to a really beautiful place is this idea, because this is this, ever since I was little, this has always been this idea that made no sense to me, that we would have people in our world that would be not having enough food to eat. So there's, that's all a set up about, that's set on a foundation of lies as well, as is war. War is just a money-making machine, and from another angle, it could just be a depopulation mechanism. So all of this is just coming into this. We're coming into higher ways of being, and now that we're coming into this collective higher heart opening, that is going to really see the way, because we've got this connection between the heart, the higher heart, the throat, and speaking the truth. So this coming into one's own alignment, being in our authentic truth and speaking it out loud, and all of a sudden things are just going to calibrate and recalibrate into truth. Oh, thank you, Bella. It's lovely to have you all here with me. And yeah, so I'm going to start my little wacky weird series. So I might just I will actually. What I'm going to do is just jump off, and I'll jump back on again in 5 minutes and talk about, or do the first of my weird wacky series. So yeah, jump back on here in a couple of moments. It'll just have to end and begin. All right, lots of love.